Hello, this is April 13th, 2020, another evening with Spirit. So I'm asking people to put in the chat room how they're feeling, like a word that can give us a barometer of where they're at. I know it changes moment to moment, but
People are saying grounded, and there's pressure in the ears. Floating, calm, empowered, curious, calm, excited and hopeful, confused, calm, relaxed, open to your healing and wisdom.
all right.
Grateful, grounded, and open.
It's a little better than I've seen the last couple of weeks. I think we've had more fear and like confusion before. And I understand that it can change, moment to moment. But maybe it's because we're excited to be together right now. And so maybe things are on a roll. I have a feeling that the morphic field of this group is growing because I'm starting to get emails from people saying they're actually having positive experiences in their life, whether it was from the 4-4 meditation or something that they picked up in here, that they're feeling healing happening in either physical layers or emotional layers, mental layers, in their relationships and their outlook. Now that's not going to be everybody, because how could everybody feel the same way? We're all going to have waves of emotions, but as the morphic field of this healing group grows, that's what we could expect, that people would actually start to feel better. Why? Because they have some tools, they have a group to lean on that's like-minded people. It always feels good when you're hanging out with like-minded people. And we start to get empowered that we can actually change our energy. And this is the most important thing out of everything we do together. The most important thing is that we realize that we can change our energy if we want to. So we have to have the desire we want to, and then we have to take steps to change it. So super, super exciting.
Annie, someone is asking if you could define the morphic field.
So morphic fields are balls of energy around groups of people. So mass consciousness has a morphic field. There's a morphic field around like football games when you go to a stadium. There's one morphic field for one team. There's another morphic field for the other team. It's like-minded energy grouping together, and they can feed off each other, both positive and negative. So mass consciousness is more lower vibrational energy. It's more because it's trapped in the 3D, it has a lower vibration. It usually resonates with fear. But we can create morphic fields consciously, which is what we're doing when we gather together. And it's a way to have a conversation with the universe. So the more that we gather, and we're developing a strength in the morphic field. It's not like a one-time thing now this is 3 times. So our intentions start to get clearer and stronger, and that communicates directly with the universe, because in these sessions we're talking to spirit and we're asking for help, and we have an intention that we'd like to feel better. Yeah, that's the bottom line. And so we are growing a relationship in a group network, and we're also growing our relationship in this group to talk to all that is. And as that becomes stronger, we get more airtime. They listen to us. They're like, oh, good, they're gathering again. What would they like this week? Now, every week we come, more angels come. Every time someone joins, more angels come. Every time we come across a hurdle, like a really big emotion, more angels come, more light comes, because I set it up that way. Yeah, so that we feel better, so that we understand who we are. We're creating a container so that we can hang out with our angels and ourselves and our guides as a group that identify themselves as people who have come to the planet for a reason, not just any reason, for a reason to really shift the consciousness in the planet and let love reign. It's the only thing that's going to shift out of the shadow.
One more question real quick that I think would be good to answer is Chase is asking, do we create morphic fields with individuals with our guides and angels?
I suppose so. A morphic field I usually consider something better. I think that's more of a container that we create with our families, or a unit or a network, or there's a vibration of a tribe when we bond with a family, when we create a family. But I suppose that's a morphic field too. Yeah, I usually think of morphic fields as even bigger. It's the morphic field of world peace is bigger than what we might develop as just as a family to be happy and safe. I got no proof on that. That's just what I'm listening to. But they're fascinating. And you want to be careful which ones you glom onto, because they can be very persuasive. Because you think of all the people that are in the morphic field. If you join a group of people who are negative people, you're gonna feel negativity. You might like that. You might be like, oh, I like the way they complain about something, or it makes me feel better to have a group to bitch to, or to really, say how much they don't like things. So morphic fields aren't always positive. They'll be whatever energy the people put into them. But it's like a container of energies that are similar. I think it's a relationship that we bond with our angels. That's a intimate relationship. Yeah, I don't think as morphic fields as much as intimacy, because you could, okay, say you wanted to be I don't know, a talk show host or something, or like a really good athlete, or a really good painter, you know. You might go to create a drawing one day and download the morphic field of Picasso. The entirety of all his work and all of his dreams and all of his visions of everything he channeled when he did things. And you might see art come through you that is different from your own. It will be very influenced by whatever he was influenced by. Okay, so Kayla, will you go over logistics just in case there's brand new people on the call that have never played with Zoom before, that might not know what buttons are going on?
Yeah, so hi everybody, I'm Kayla and I'm helping Annie with these gatherings. By trade, I'm an acupuncturist. I practice functional medicine and have been in the healing realm for a very long time. And I've known Annie for quite some time now. And when she came to me with this idea, I jumped on the opportunity to help her. I've been really engulfed in the world of virtual, bringing my business virtual and learning everything I can about how we can use the internet and Zoom and all this to help spread messages. And so that's one of my biggest things, is helping people get their message out to make a bigger impact and a positive influence on the world. So when Annie asked me, I jumped at the opportunity to help her do these. So just some logistics. During this gathering, we ask that everybody leave their microphone off, because it does help the quality of the recording so that you can listen to this. We'll send you the replay afterwards, and you can listen to this again and gather new information, even listening to it multiple times. So it's a tool and a resource for you to listen to this one, as well as the other two that we've done the last few weeks. Also, when we do go into kind of the work and the healing of this session, we ask that you turn your video off as well. Annie will also turn her video off so that you can really just focus inward on the work that you're doing and that we're doing together. And also, just a huge amount of gratitude for everybody that's on this call right now, that will watch it in the future. Like Annie was saying, this is building a morphic field, and each individual puts a lot into it, and we all get a lot from that. And there's been some really positive things that have happened personally, as well as for other people that have been on these calls. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So much appreciation for each and every one of you. Also, please post in the chat room if you have questions, if you have comments, anything. Annie reads all of the comments in there after the gathering. So please put anything you're wondering, anything that comes up for you in that chat room. If I can answer any questions with the technological side, then I'm here to do that and help if you have any issues. So just post it in the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on that as well throughout this entire gathering. One other thing, we do want to get some feedback from you if these days during the week work, if there's other times that would work better for you. Please put that in the chat so that we can look at that. Also, if these are helping, we want to continue to do that, but we want to make sure that everyone these are working and want to do it. So just a little feedback would be amazing and very much appreciated there. Anything I missed, Annie?
No, just trying to get a feeling if people, you know, want to continue to do this, and days or times that might be best, and if there is a general feeling of doing it, or maybe once a month instead of once a week, or is once a week good? And would you all like to reduce it to an hour or an hour and a half, or is 2 hours good? Like, I want that information, because I will definitely change the format if the majority of people want it more spread out and shorter sessions. I'm up for any of it. So yeah, so we'll read that. So Dana was going to unmute herself and share that she had a positive experience. I don't exactly know what it is. I wanted to be surprised by it like you all. So, but sharing is a really good way to ground your healing for yourself, and it helps the rest of us know what's possible. So Dana, would you be willing to say a couple of words about what you've experienced in the last chunk of time?
Yes, sure. Hi, Annie. How are you? Hello, all. Thank you so much, first of all, for being here. This has been magical, for real. People have been telling me to meditate, you know, forever. But I really started taking it seriously just like this past January. And like super duper heavy duty nonstop. Like now I'm like, I won't go a day without. I will not. Like once I got hooked, I was like, that's it. It brought me to another place, and it's been nothing but positive. I'm pretty in tune anyway, so it would just like it shot things to another level for me. And then I was with you guys on your last group meeting, which was the night before the global meditation, which I was really excited for. And then the night of the global meditation, I had an amazing experience. I literally, it was towards the second, I'd say it was like the second half of the meditation. And I believe it was about an hour long. And I recall being fidgety, like I couldn't pull it together for some reason. I just couldn't sit still. And so it wasn't until much later in the meditation that I finally calmed down. And I found myself like all twisted and kind of weird, feeling like I thought I had a stroke. It was bizarre. And I could feel my face and my jaw, and everything felt like it was elongated, and like I knew I was in another place. So
So everybody, before you continue, I'd love everybody to beam a ton of love to Dana right now, because it takes a lot of courage to describe and express what she's describing. So just like flood her with a lot of love right now. Okay, Dana. Keep going.
Thank you. I realized where I was I went back to my mom's womb, and I just knew where I was. It was bizarre. It didn't like look like anything. It just felt like like I just knew, and I knew it was not good. And there was pain and suffering, and there was hurt, like not like pain like we feel. It was more like, it was so deep, it was undescribable. And it was so saddening and so hurtful, and I was all twisted out of whack. And I was just, when I finally came to, I realized like where I was, and I laughed and I cried, and I laughed and I cried, and like all this weird emotion was just piling out. And it was like magic. It was a miracle. I swear, I literally felt myself heal. Like I really felt that. And it felt like a miracle.
Were you doing any of the mantras that we do here together, like while you were going through that pain and discomfort and grief and that fear?
I thanked the beings of light, and I said that I was willing to change my ways, and I tried to use some of the verbiage that you taught us last time. I wrote stuff down because a lot of times, like, I'm right there and I don't know what to say or do, or how to receive, or how to acknowledge or appreciate, or, so like a lot of what you're saying has guided me. So thank you. And I did. And I said, bring it on. Like, I'm ready. Like, I felt powerful, and it was deep pain, but it was so necessary. It was way better than like breaking your leg, I could tell you that. Pain wise, you know what I mean? Like, it was a good hurt. It was a really good hurt. And what's even more beautiful about it is that being able to open up to my sister, because she's so willing to listen, and her like just willing to not judge, and us to be able to have that conversation just brought us to another level too. So it's just pure love, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So
thank you, Dana.
that's it. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
What a miracle. So this is such a great example of someone getting enough courage to just finally look at the stuff that they knew was there. They just didn't know how to access it. And you go into a big healing, millions of people together praying for world peace and praying that the shadow go home and leave the planet, and the rest of us really turn over the reins to love. Miracles can happen. This really deep stuff wants to leave our bodies in big, big ways. And those of us who are resisting it are very uncomfortable. Yeah, really uncomfortable. It almost gets to the point where you can't ignore it, where you're like, oh, I just got to sit down and look at that. And, just a few words like saying our name, affirming healthy boundaries, saying that I'm the only soul in this body, talking to our angels. This is not rocket science. These are just normal human words that we can all do. And it's a racket in the universe that we can't clear our space like that. We can clear our space like that. We just have to sit down and do it. And we can get so good at it, we can do it on the fly. And this is, the story really empowers all of us to be like, whoa, deep stuff can come out in a very short amount of time. And then you feel huge reliefs afterwards. And then miracles happen because the universe now is talking. The universe is into it. The universe wants to be of service to us, but it needs to know what we want. And so we got to get good at talking to it, even better than we do to probably the relationships in our lives. because we filter those a little bit. We don't say really what we mean, because if we said what we meant at that moment, maybe they would not want to be with us, or we piss someone off. You know, we're always biting our tongue. You don't do this with the angels, the universe, with God, source. You speak very truthfully. I mean, it's silly not to, because they can see right through your stuff anyway. I mean, if you feel like a jerk, if you're like trying to lie to the universe, I mean, that's some silly stuff. Okay. And I have tried, and I've gotten so busted. Yeah. So, oh my goodness. Yeah, I tried, and they stopped talking to me for a long time, because I was making my list of demands from them, instead of me saying, how can I be of better service on the planet? I was like, well, I'll be of better service on the planet if you give me this, this, that. I need this too. I'm pretty sure I'll need that if I get that too. And they were just like, the radio went like silent for years. They were like, that's not really, you don't make a list of demands. You come with an open heart and tell us how you feel. And if you don't like the way you're feeling, then you tell us how you want to feel. And that gives us the open door to help you create how you want to feel instead. The vulnerability, the love, the trust, the developing clear communication. This is how I'm really feeling. I'm really feeling rage. I'm really feeling disgust. I'm really feeling shame. I'm really feeling grief that I cannot wrap my brain around. I need help, because I don't want to feel this way. It's not like all those emotions really ever go away. We just train ourselves from moment to moment to let them just sit while we steep ourselves in love. And then we go back to them a little bit and digest them a little bit more and be with them a little bit more, and maybe ask, how can we have more insight on them? How can I navigate the water of this deep shame, this deep grief, this deep unworthiness? And it's developing this intimate conversation with Source, one-on-one, that can spare you hundreds of thousands of years of spiritual therapy. Okay, so the really cool thing, I know a bunch of you were on that 4-4 meditation. Like, this is such cool news. Okay, so the day after that meditation, just hours after, because for some people the meditation was very, very late at night, early hours of the morning. So on 4-4, April 4th. On 4-5, the scientists reported some activity on measurements in the planet. It's called the Schumann resonance. Schumann was a German scientist. That's how he got his name, the Schumann resonance. But the resonance, Joe Dispenza and many other people call the Schumann resonance the heartbeat of Earth. And the heartbeat of Earth spiked so high after that meditation that it caught huge attention in the spiritual community, because the scientists flat out just wrote a report on it. They just broadcasted it. They were like, intense activity in the Schumann resonance, spiking, the heartbeat of Earth spiking from all that love. That's cool. So the power of people coming together, and you can call it praying or just holding thoughts or mantras. This is miracle mindedness. This is what creates momentum in a morphic field, so that the morphic field just exponentially grows by itself out of love, because it seeks more love. It'll seek more people joining this group. It'll have more people get attracted to you, because somehow you're holding a little bit of light with all this chaos. And that is like a moth to a flame. People want to know, how are you dealing with this? You've got a smile on your face. How are you navigating these waters? Do you have any tips for me that I could do? This is those are physical words. It doesn't even have to be physical words. The butterfly effect can be us changing our vibration and gathering in the name of love, And that ripples out to people we will never, ever, ever meet on the other side of the planet. The 100th monkey, some people call it the 100th monkey effect. You know, what was that? That monkeys on one island, one monkey on one island had an idea about these yellow things that were falling out of the trees, of how to get inside and get the banana part. This monkey like figured out how to peel it. And within hours, monkeys on other islands in different parts of the world started peeling their bananas, like the 100th monkey. So the Morphic Field, how to peel a banana, started going out in the wavelengths to the world. And all of a sudden the monkeys were like, hey, the stuff inside this thing is really good. Let me show you how to peel it without mashing it with a rock. So it's like, you know, hard to eat. So this is like what we're creating in these love gatherings. It ripples out to hundreds of thousands of people you'll never, ever, ever know. Someone tonight might, you know, stop beating their spouse or their dog, or go help the old person next door. You know, random things, random beautiful miracles can happen as these gatherings grow in the name of love. And we can lean on it. And we can lean on it and put deposits on it. And that's us gathering and putting good energy. And on a bad day, take a withdrawal, you know, lean on it. Listen to the recording again and lean into it and withdraw, you know, pull some energy out of it. We deposit, we withdraw. That's just like a bank. It's just, we put it in and it's there for us to take out when we need it. So yeah, let's start with a few breaths. And then tapping our thymus area, because we want to make sure our thymus is really happy for our immune system. And we're just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. This helps us coordinating all of our energies, letting go of whatever happened earlier in the day and letting go of whatever thing we have to do after this. We're letting go of it. We're just going to be here in the moment and get, you know, juicy in this cuddle puddle together. Just really enjoy the presence from the universe coming in to assist us. So let's say hi to our guardian angels that we were born with, and sense where they are. Sense if they're behind you or in front of you or next to you or cuddled up with you or at your feet, or a ball of light above your head, wherever you just, however you sense it. Just hello, guardian angel, the angel that was born with me, that stays with me my whole life, that holds my hand as I pass back to the other side. From beginning, middle to end of this lifetime. In through the nose and out through the mouth, and then gently tapping our thymus area and saying our name, full name, 3 times. Let's give our names a blessing, even if we didn't like our parents, even if we didn't like our ex, even if we don't like what our mother yelled at us when we were young, whatever. Just we're going to put all the names in a big golden bubble right now, and we're going to give them a blessing so that we resonate with them as what we want them to be now. Okay, we're going to just clear it from all the wounds of the past, anything that we didn't like about it, throw in all the names, the birth names, the nicknames, the married names, the maiden names, spiritual names that you feel like might be coming to you. Maybe you want to rename yourself sometime. Maybe you already have renamed yourself, or call yourself something that you haven't broken it to your friends that you'd rather be called, and we'll do a blessing on it right now. So just in a big gold bubble, put all of our names, and we're going to ask a blessing that our names, yes, actually become very much in resonance with who we are. It's this IP address. It's this line of energy coming down from source, our higher self, our God self, our soul self, to this body. This is our IP address, and the calling, the vibration of it, the attention that we call to it is our name in this lifetime. And it might come with other things too, like vibrations or a hum or a sound. I think Prince changed his name to a symbol at one point. He was getting really in touch with the essence of his being. Okay, so we're just blessing our names. Good. And then as we bless our names and we feel that's complete, we're tapping our names into this body. So you say your full name 3 times with the word only after it. So I say, I am Ann Jeanette Annie Nelson. Only. And breathe. And you're doing that with your names. I am Ann Jeanette Annie Nelson only. I am Ann Jeanette Annie Nelson only. Good. Why do we say only? Because there's a lot of energy we pick up that's not ours. And by staking claim to this body with the I am presence, that's the I am presence. This is called the magic I am presence. I am presence of divine light and love and all that is. By staking that, anything that's not you has to go. The body is very grateful when we do this. We claim her or him as ours. It's just the soul in this body. That's all that should be here. Right, there we go, good. And that way, we start to go parasympathetic, because now we realize some of the stuff we might have been sensing isn't ours, or is not from this particular body-soul connection in this timeline. So I like to follow it up. This is a great way to start meditation. Breathing, blessing my name, tapping it into my body, and then saying, I am here. 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 Good. So that now we're even clearer with the universe. I'm here. I'm not back in Atlantis. That's bleeding through to many of our lifetimes right now. I'm here. And from here, as I gather all my energy, I have more power to change my energy, look at my energy, because now I know I'm running my energy, and heal it and raise my vibration. And at the second half of the session, that's where we're going to go inside with the music that's attuned to help clear our space even more, so that you can say hello to the parts in yourself that feel like the lights got turned off, or that feel stagnant, or feel like a black ball inside when you go in there. And you might even have physical complaints like a stomach ache, a headache. The throat might feel weird, those of us that feel like, I can't wear a scarf, or, I don't like tight collars, or I don't like necklaces here. Yeah, there's a lot of energy that can get trapped in the throat. When you go inside, you might be saying hello to that area. You might be saying hello to your low back, which gets fearful when we're not feeling abundant in money, or we have so many emotions bleeding through from other times and places about not understanding what the future holds. Yeah, that brings up fear for us. We're all there. We know something great is happening right now, but we don't know how to prove that or explain it or prepare for it. No, we're all in the same boat. This is why connection to spirit is going to help us guide ourselves through these waters. Okay, so let's do another command thing. I think people are getting into it. So we're going to say a sovereignty or sovereignty, tomato, tomato, directive, which is I'm going to be empowered with my energy and my divine, unique connection to source. That this Hara line, tube of light, river of light, shaft of light, whatever you want to call it, the Shishuni, if it's not healthy and doesn't have a good connection to us here, our spirit here, to this body here, it is really hard to manifest what you want. So let's get strong, let's get clear, let's get empowered to manifest what we actually want. Yep, because saying no to what you don't want is not the same as saying yes to what you do want. Two different animals. saying no to what you don't want is not the same as saying yes to what you do want. Two different things. One is from a place of empowerment, and the other one is from a place of, I feel powerless in this world. So I'm going to tell the universe what I don't want, instead of saying, I acknowledge I don't like what I'm experiencing, and this is what I would like. I want help visualizing and manifesting that. So this is why the Shishuni, this line, this inner river of light, is a super important place to check in with regularly all day long. When you're out of your body, you're not in it, and saying hello to it and feeling it. It is that in and of itself, just doing that for meditation is really cool, because it is a magical, magical, magical line of light. And we need magic. We need miracles right now. And to be miracle mindedness is what we need to actually realize miracles. It's not enough to just say what you want. You actually have to start to run that vibration in your body, your mind, and your field, because the universe speaks in energy, not emotions. The universe speaks in energy, not emotions. So what you're vibrating at is what you get more of in the universe. And so to be miracle minded, we have to address our belief systems, what we are holding in our mind, what we are visualizing in our mind, what feelings we're creating in our body generated from our mind. So to be able to witness and create miracles, to even recognize them, to even let them land in our own lap, we have to be miracle mindedness. And that is all the activity of the right side of our brain. To be in the right side of your brain is to be in your right mind, your mind of God, your mind of source, your mind of all that is. The scalar energy, some people call it the 0-point field, chi, prana, om, mana, life force. They're all synonymous with, what holds this world together. Some people call it God. It's energy. And so to start to communicate with the universe in energy terms with what we want, we have to first get past the head. If the mind's like, that's a bunch of poo, I don't believe it, we're never going to get down to our heart chakra where we really start to generate it out, because this is where we generate out most of our energy, because it's our largest chakra. And that's our biggest place to create from. And the most misunderstood thing on the planet is, drumroll, God. It's the most misunderstood thing. So let's demystify it. It's energy consciousness. It's chi, it's prana, it's the 0-point field. It's all that is. It's the glue that holds us all together. Don't let it hold you up from making this deep connection inside yourself. Just find whatever it is that's true for you and start to get to be friends with it. Talk to it. The universe. NASA had a project. It was called Project Stardust. You can Google it. It proved that the stuff that the stars are made out of is the same stuff that our DNA is made out of. We come from the stars. We come from the sun. We come from the universe. We come from different parts of it. Different planet, different stars, different solar system, different universes. But that's what we all are, incarnation here in human body. So it's what we're made out of. So let's just get friends with this energy that we are made out of and talk to the source of it, so we can start creating the reality that we want instead of poo-pooing the reality we don't want. That's not to say ignore what's going on. God, please, I hope none of you heard that out of that. Yeah, we need to stand up to things that aren't right, and we're all getting a really big handful of information that's not necessarily the truth. This will all come out in time, but this is why we want to hold our space as best we can, so that we have a natural filter, our aura, our prana, our chi, our merkaba, so that we can deflect things that aren't the truth. We want the truth. Even if the truth hurts, fine. I'd rather have just the truth. Because then it doesn't mess with our head. And we don't start creating morphic fields of scenarios that are not beneficial. So let's do some directives right now to help us get into our power. I'll speak slower. I got a little feedback. I talked a little fast before. So do I want to do something before that? No, we're going to do this now. So I'll say it, and you're going to repeat it for yourself. All your microphones are off. So say it either out loud, or if you have a house full of people, in your head. I now command that all parts of me, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, dimensionally, be sovereign, and my boundaries be restored to 100% intact while awake and asleep. And any low vibrational energies that can be cleared now, in the highest and best way, in all directions of time. And any energetic responses that aren't necessary for me to experience from any other timeline or any other being be removed from my awareness, and a healing sent to them if necessary, with ease and grace. Thank you. Okay, good. So that's starting to push some stuff out of our space. So let's do the brain balance. If you can't see what I'm doing, I'm coning my fingers like I'm going to pick up a piece of rice from a table. I'm crossing my wrists, and I'm plugging my fingers into my forehead, and I'm breathing. We're balancing the right side, left side brain hemisphere so that we can get connected to the fifth dimension, the dimension of oneness, wholeness, and your body may pull or rock or sway. Any of that's all fine. And then eventually you'll just sigh. And when you sigh, switch the cross so the other wrist is in front, and you plug your fingers back into your forehead again, breathing. Balancing the right side, left side brain hemisphere so that we get accurate information and we recognize the truth when we hear it, see it, experience it. Whew. And by balancing this, we actually attract the truth to us, because we're creating a morphic field where this is what we want: love, light, and truth in the highest and best ways in all directions of time to connect with us. And when you sigh, whenever you sigh, then you're going to do the rainbow. Fingers are touching, pointed towards your ears like this. And you're going to see rainbow light coming from one hand through your head all the way to the other hand, and then from this hand through your brain all the way to this hand. Okay, and you'll feel a shift. You'll feel a shift, or you'll sigh. Good, and then you'll know you did it. Great, thank you. So I say many things, but I'll say I am of God this time. I am of source. I am of divine love. I am divine light. I am divine. I am from the source of creation. I am at one with the prime creator. Pick one that you like. You can shift it. You can change it as we go. Try it on and say, I am of God, or I am of whatever tickles your fancy. I ground myself to the earth in this body, and I accept this healing for my highest good. And we're going to offer this healing work for the sake of all beings, and especially your family, your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, your coworkers, your community, your animals. Okay, so let's call in the enlightened nature kingdom, Devic kingdom, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, flower kingdom, the tree people, the heart of earth, Amenti. Whew. The earth council, the earth angels. They're all joining us with our guardian angel, and however other many beings of light are in your God team, your angelic team, your healing team, your wisdom team, whatever you want to call them. We call in the great archangels, the ascended masters, the Elohim, the Holy Trinity, the legions of light, the Logos of light, the galactic council, the galactic command, the Holy Trinity, the heart of the 22 galaxies, Elsa Om, that is the heart, the heart, the heart of God, sandwiching us between Earth and the heart of the cosmos, sandwiching us above and below. There we go. Good. Okay, let's do a little more space clearing. I command you, God, to break all spells, curses, ancient rituals, and each person's life on this call, and anyone listening to the replay, that are not good and true. I command that you remove all negative remote viewers, remove all radionics machines, remove all AIs, redundancies, transmissional frequencies, infinite levels wide, infinite levels high, through all space-time continuum in every dimension that are not for each of our highest goods. We bring all the people involved with this manipulation before you, source of all that is, for justice in only the way you know how. We are not going to judge them. We are just turning them over to you for unconditional love and forgiveness. So the Melchizedek beings that we're inviting in, and we're asking for the activation of our Merkaba. You know, this is my Stargate, but this kind of looks like a Merkaba. If you picture me in it, and it's like 50 feet around, 75 feet around, it's the energetic encasement. Merkaba is the Hebrew word for chariot. It's what holds our energy outside of these chakras, our aura, and it's the bigger container for our energy field that helps us move through the cosmos. And some of us are really moving through the cosmos a lot to find our energy, to go to places and spaces and claim our sovereignty back, to heal past life things. Many of us are going to be able to master in this lifetime of bilocating, to go somewhere else. Yeah, to do this, we need a really healthy Merkaba, and we need the coherence of all of our cells in our body to get super aligned with each other so that we can actually dematerialize here and materialize somewhere else. I know that maybe some people are like, that's wacky, but it's true. So something fun to think about. Okay, command the Melchizedek beings to open 8 portals from the ultimate dimension around each person on this call and anyone listening to the replay, and close them off underneath each person. I command the Melchizedek beings to create 27 esoteric Merkaba fields around us, bonding these 8 portals to the Merkaba fields, anchoring each person's sacral point right in the center of the Merkaba fields, and programming it with their original blueprint of DNA and the keys of Enoch, which are the laws of the universe. I command the Melchizedek beings to escort all negative energies, entities, overtangles, interferences, manipulations, fractals thereof, out of each person's body, field, and space now. We bless and forgive them for their manipulation and release them to the ultimate dimension with unconditional love and forgiveness. Okay, great. We know the purpose of our existence is to evolve ourselves and the rest of humanity as we're incarnated in this place of earth. We know that the healing process of the earth and the people on it, humanity, is not always easy nor convenient. And we ask for guidance every step of the way so that we may raise our vibration and that each step we take on this planet becomes a golden footstep that is celebrated by the entire universe as we anchor love onto the planet as the primary force. We ask that all relevant information, useful, accurate information that comes to join us today be free from personal agenda and attachment and ego. Any and all negative energies that can be released, may they be released either directly to the ultimate dimension, creator God, without judgment, or immediately transmuted into 100% of pure light. In the highest and best way for the greatest good of all. And wherever possible, the energies of joy and peace be integrated into our daily awareness. We ask that this healing session be invisible to all negativity of any kind, God willing, including negative energies or unbeneficial energies, energies that would wish to hold us back. Thank you. A couple of things landed in my lap in the last few days as I was opening up to prepare myself to be a channel of information that's useful. Marianne Williamson is one of my favorites. She actually she wrote a book, A Return to Love, which is a summary of the Course in Miracles, which is, if you've tried to study the Course in Miracles, it's awesome, but it's a big book. And so she wrote some cliff notes for it. She'd probably be horrified if she heard me say cliff notes. But anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful book, A Return to Love. She ran for Congress a few years ago. She just ran for presidency recently. Anyway, she's quite a mouthpiece on speaking about God and love and this experience and moving through our shadow. Yeah. So as Easter was yesterday, it just feels like I don't know, I need to recognize that it's a spiritually important week. Jews celebrate Passover, Christians prepare, for Easter celebrations. But in the big picture, whether it's Passover or Easter or nothing particular for you, it's the energy of love and light turning darkness into light. That's the theme of it. Slavery into freedom, death into eternal life. The stories are not just stories, they're portals into an experience of greater peace and understanding. On the Good Friday that precedes Easter, many people acknowledge the reality of heartlessness and bear witness to the suffering it creates. And that suffering is not just the suffering of one man a couple thousand years ago, it's the suffering of all of humanity. And it's deep, and it's up for healing. The suffering will end for all of us. It's proclaimed in this holiday, but beyond the holiday, it's what the movement is happening on the planet. Spirit just wipes away the tears. There will be periods of grief and torment and anguish. And yet it's always followed with moments, with bursts of light that is so extraordinary, so miraculous, if we let it be, if we really tune into it. The mortal mind will be blown away. And the supremacy of another world of love is being called in now. So in the moments where the reign of darkness subsides and even ceases for seconds, its spell having been broken by our realization that in the presence of Source's love, the darkness has no power at all. It gets consumed and eaten up and transubstantiated. Light having entered the darkness shall be no more. What a powerful message at this time in humanity's collective, a rite of passage that we're going to, a shift in power. In these days of forced pause, a deeper reflection brought on by this coronavirus pandemic, we can make them holy by realizing now the love is with us, and may it deepen in us, and the meaning of it all create possibilities for miraculous breakthroughs. The Spirit has said for a long time now, when the power of love exceeds the love of power, that's when the transformation is going to happen on the planet. That's what we're in right now. It's even been prophesied that our flag will change from the eagle, our emblem of the United States, of the eagle holding the I can't hear what they're saying. It's going to shift, though, the emblem from the eagle to the dove of peace. I don't know we're going to see it in this lifetime. I mean, to see a flag with or an emblem of the United States of America with the dove of peace on it, that would be something. But that has been prophesied for a really long time now. I hope we all get to live and see that shift. That the representation of the United States could shift to a dove of peace. So, where do they want us to go? Jared Hewitt is, he wrote a book called Love, Life, God. He's a great channel. He's a really deeply connected man on the planet with a really nice head and heart connection and really balanced male and female energies, which is so so wonderful to have someone be of service to the planet. I was in I took his college, didn't prepare me for what was happening now. No, I didn't learn everything through business and economics at college. So I went back to a conscious creation university with Jared for a year. One of my many great teachers that I am so fond of. And so he was the one that brought to my attention yesterday of this: saying no to what you want is not the same as saying yes to what you do want. And so that's a really important thing to just linger on, because it makes you go inside and look at what your energy is vibrating at. Because it's the next step of mastery. Yes, healthy boundaries. No, I don't want that. But mastery is saying, what I do want is this, and this is how I'm going to create it, by going inside, connecting to the source of all that is, and getting out of my suspicious, vicious, egoic mind on the left side, and bridging my consciousness to 5D reality. This is where I create from. So one of the things that I read from him is he's describing the majority of information being thrown at us right now is based on duality. Us versus them, right or wrong, good, bad, light, dark, conspiracy, fear, repression, oppression. It's fear masquerading as light. It's fear masquerading as light of power. It's information that has been keeping a bunch of us scared. So it's not to say not follow healthy guidelines. It's saying be very careful what you get entangled with in this bombardment of negative energies. The dark is trying to take one last stand to really win. So the stories are going to get spun. And when we get wrapped up in believing some of these things that are not the truth, it will suck the energies of love right out of us. We have to be conscious of that. You know, it's almost like we should take an energetic shower after we read the news, you know? Okay, I'm going to put myself in a tornado of violet flame. The violet flame, one of my favorite cleaning healing tools. It's a purple tornado. Saint Germain is the keeper of the violet flame, a very powerful ascended master. You know, watch the news and then go sit in that thing, or sit in that thing while you watch the news, and tell the universe, I want the truth, so that you start to censor what you even expose yourself to. We have a collective individual opportunity to examine at a very deep level who we've been, who we are, and where we'd like to go, how we'd like to create ourselves. So using this time to distract one another from furthering and expanding by going deeper into duality through politics, religion, conspiracy, rooting into the old templates, the old grounding mechanisms that are not appropriate anymore, the entertaining the good versus evil, the right versus wrong. It's just transposing the same duality into a new game of what they're calling spirituality or science and facts. It will only create the new world with the same energies continuing to cycle and grow. We don't want that. We want a new world. We want a new earth. I mean, they give us signals. They give us crumbs. They give us clues. I mean, this was a really obvious clue, this one. A new earth. You know, Eckhart Tolle wrote this years ago, a new earth. We want a new earth, not the same one back. So we have to consciously create new grids that we are keeping ourselves in. New grids of light, new grids of love, new grids of truth, new grids of connection to each other that support us in knowing the truth, knowing the power of love, knowing the ability that we all came with everything we need to heal ourselves. We have a chance to come together within, without the old model. We have a chance to address the wounds that we have inside of ourselves as individuals and as a species, which creates the places of lack or limitation. We want to heal these places. We want to heal our perceptions of who we are so that we can merge from this small timeout, more healed, more whole, more grounded, more rooted, and more dedicated to the creation of a new world, being love in action. This allows us to come together in new ways and embrace each other like never before, to see the truth, to see who we really, really are, free from our stories and our judgments and our grudges. This is the way of mastery, to see someone without the backdrop of the story. But we must first begin to say yes. We have to say yes to life, even as it is, yes to the life we want to create, and most of all, yes to love. This is what will change the world. We need more filters to clean out that which is not the truth. We need more resilience. This is why we're doing healing work on ourselves, to get our aura really intact, to clean out the bleed through from the past lives that we're feeling. We want more resiliency. And if you think you're not resilient, think again, because a prerequisite for being a human being is being resilient. Our hearts have been broken so many times on a regular basis. It's the resiliency, it's the love that glues them back together that even lets us have another day. Else we'd evacuate with every horrible incidents that we observe either in the world outside around us or in our own personal bubble. We have so much resiliency that we keep coming back to the planet. I mean, think about it. It's like, that's some resiliency to want to come back after a really hard lifetime. Oh, I'm gonna come back for more. The thing we have to remember is that as many horrific lifetimes as we've had just as many beautiful lifetimes. In this lifetime, we're getting a mixed match of both. We're getting an excessive amount of hard times and we're getting an excessive amount of good times too. And this is what we want to balance out. This is where we need more resiliency, because we're entering in a time right now where no one really knows how this is going to play out or when. We don't know yet. We can get clues. We can get clues in our meditation. We can get feelings. We could get senses. But we're getting tested right now. And a lot of energy is getting thrown at us from all sorts of different directions. The truth will come out and our minds will be blown about how much we have been lied to. We don't have to worry about that big picture right now. That's being taken care of. But we do want to be in resonance with the correction of it. And that's why clearing our space and healing our wounds and going inside and talking to ourselves and finding the places that are hurt and scared and frozen and stuck and wounded and dissociated and disowned and hate us and all. By saying hello to that and going inside with the light, not alone. We go in with the light, infinite light. We go in and find these places. And we just sit with it and say hello until it either talks to us or transforms or lets go of the pain, the grief, for a moment to come back into alignment with our heart. We're always going to have tough emotions as human beings. That's part of the experience. It's actually what a lot of us wanted to come experience, which is so strange. But I guess it's through learning through this polarity. How are you going to know the profound feelings of love if you have never experienced like the depths of despair? For some reason, humans like polarities so that they can see the contrast. But as humans evolve and as we grow, we're going to need less of that contrast. We're just going to know the truth, and we're not going to have to experience things at such a painful level anymore. We already have enough pain that we're still experiencing from horrible things that have happened on the planet in our lifetime. We're already trying to heal those big scars. And we're getting help doing that. But as individuals, we want to heal ourselves first. We want to put on our mask first. And then we go out and see, as I heal, I have more energy to help the bigger collective, the bigger wounds on the planet, the genocides that we've experienced. As much as we have duality in the third dimension where we have extremes, as we evolve and we go into the fourth dimension, it's a little more extremes with a deep knowingness that we can experience things differently. And as we move to the fifth dimension, we start to see everything through God's eyes, through the eyes of oneness, that there is a bigger meaning of why we're here and what this suffering might mean. And I don't know how to understand any of this from this dimension. Einstein, again, I have to say it because he's so brilliant. You cannot solve a third dimensional problem from the mental place that it was created from. And that's 3D. That's an egoic duality, limited mind consciousness. You won't understand the craziness from the sandpit of the craziness. You have to get a bird's eye view. You have to get a higher understanding. If you want a break from it, if you want to, for a moment, just be like, all right, I'll go back in. I know it's for a higher reason. I know I always forget when I get back entangled with it, but that's why I have a practice so that I can generate these feelings of love to outweigh the harshities of life. I had someone tell me once that, we keep coming back to this planet for this crazy experience because there's no other planet like it. There's no other place where you can have your feet in the ocean and see snow-capped hills and smell pine trees and flowers and touch animals. Like, it's like a overload for our senses. I mean, that's why we keep coming back. These senses that we developed as humans, they don't have it in the angelic realm. They're just beings of love. That's it. They're beings. It's not like I feel, I think, I sense. It's like I'm just a being of love. Here we get all these senses, and when it's going good, it's fun, and it's a beautiful, beautiful planet to incarnate on. So sometimes I have to remember that, like, whoa, it seems really hard outside my four walls of my house. And yet, oh yes, I know this too shall pass. This too shall pass, but I want to be proactive in the passing of it. Because I no longer not just want it to pass, I want it to be different than it was before. Better. So the truth of what's happening out there may not come out for a bit, but for those that are ready, you can tap into it by accessing these higher dimensions. It's been said time and time again that what unites us as human beings is far greater than what divides us. Yet our minds will always seek, our egoic minds will always seek to self-validate. That's what the ego does. So whatever we believe, we will find. Conversely, whatever we believe will find us. And that includes the information and the stories that we plug into. So you can plug into beautiful, beautiful stories of people's pains that they explain how they sit with it. You can get inspired, or you could hear stories of people just being ruined and losing all hope and wanting to give up. So as we merge our head and our heart, open to reason, perception, wisdom that we all have available inside of ourselves, and we love in a new way, and it expands in ways that we now will define as grounded consciousness, spirituality incarnated in a physical human body. In this space, as above, so below, that's the head and the heart connection. That's the earth and the cosmos connected. That's the body and soul that connected. That's our wisdom saying, I'm one with everything. As above, so below, we are transmuting the old templates of escape, the need for salvation, the need for war. And we're stating from an absolute sovereign place at a soul level, I am here, I am here, I am whole, I am love, and I am ready to truly create freedom and love. From this space, there is no limit. With that said, we all have choice with every thought, with every breath, with every keystroke, with every share, with every like, with every click, with everything we're typing or speaking. We have the power to create a change right now of how this world looks and how it operates, how it feels, and most importantly, how it vibrates. And that's why, as we raise our vibration gathering in this platform of love, we are doing our part in creating that change as a vibration on the planet. We are the change that we are seeking. We're doing it right now. Now is the time. Now technically is always the time, because that's all there is, the now moment. So now's the time. Now's the time, and now is the time. So we feel a lot of emotions coming up, especially this past week. We had the big 4-4 and then the moon on Tuesday, which is an opportunity for big energies leaving the planet. So we felt a lot of stuff. And of course we feel grief. And because this coronavirus seems to be affects the lungs and really doesn't let oxygen get in. And isn't that interesting? The shadow would love to have us be so fearful that we can't breathe in life, that we can't take a breath. That's the ultimate fear. If you stop breathing, you die. So on the other side of every dark scenario is a light scenario. So in this moment, we'll take a breath and we'll be grateful for it. And we'll feel whatever we're feeling inside. Because this grief comes way, way, way deep-seated into the feeling of failure of being human, into feeling full of grief for even separating from oneness consciousness in the first place, to have this experience. Lemuria, 100,000 years ago, we were all beings of light and love on the planet. We were incarnated. We didn't look like these bodies, but we were all heart-oriented. We had that experience, eons of time goes by, then Atlantis emerges on the planet. That was head orientation. We were brilliant, brilliant, brilliant beings. Most of the inventions that are happening on the planet right now are being invented from a blueprint that we created back in Atlantis. We were very smart, very scientific, math-minded people. So that didn't last either, because we broke into competition, and that lowered the vibration of everybody honoring everybody is sovereign and not better than the other, all oneness. As time went on and the evolution of the inventions were coming, one person looked at another person in lands and said, "Ah, I think my idea is better than yours." You know, you have a few thousand years of that, the vibration gets lower in the planet, and that earth that was holding what started to be a utopia, a very high vibration on the planet, couldn't hold that heavy energy anymore, and it sank over. It took 10,000 years for it to sink into the sea. But my point in saying that, I guess, is that there's many Atlanteans back in bodies on the planet now, because we want to get it right. Now, let's not fall for the get it right thing, because that's the mind still from Atlantis. That's the separate thinking. We're graduating into unifying the mind and the heart, so that one doesn't, that they balance each other. That they balance each other. So with every breath, know that we're getting back to basics, the building blocks of what makes a working society. Good communication, connection, collaboration, communion, even if it's virtually right now. Keep breathing and focusing. How am I feeling? And do I want to feel this right now? Maybe I do. Maybe I need to feel this pain to heal it. Maybe I need to feel this grief to heal it. Maybe it never even gets healed to 100%. Maybe it's part of being incarnated that we feel these feelings. But we have a practice to lift ourselves out of it when we say to ourselves, I'd like to feel something else as well. We start to really master what we're vibrating at. And we start to really, which is important, ask, what's mine? What's not mine? I have been hysterical about things and like out of proportion, and, you know, by the grace of God, had the insight to ask, is this mine? No. Oh, it's mass consciousness. It's Mother Earth. It's my ancestors that are stuck in some time and place that need some help. It's my neighbor who's someone just died and they're, whew, all right, okay. Then I pray for them and I hold the light and I hold love in my heart and I pray. So focusing on how we're feeling and is it mine? Breathing in the love, breathing in the light, and releasing everything else that is not ultimately aligned with that. We can still have hard feelings and vibrate at love. It just means we're processing. It just means we're having a human experience. They do want me to go a little bit before we go into our inner journey about the vibrations of emotions, which is fascinating. So Dr. Hawkins made a chart of emotions. You're not going to be able to read it. I'm just showing you that I'm reading from a chart. Map of consciousnesses. And what we want to, in as much of our day as we can, vibrate at the level of love or above. it's the hallmark of getting out of the 3D reality and the mass consciousness that would pull us in, of saying, no, 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 don't leave the egoic mind. Don't do that. That's mass consciousness. It's saying, I'll take breaks during my day to get out of that, and love or above. So Dr. Hawkins rates love as a 500 on a scale of 1,000. And above love is joy, peace, and enlightenment. So it's a pretty high vibration. But what are the levels of consciousness and the vibrations, the measurable vibrations of feelings that we may feel that we're going to work through on our way to there? And sometimes we go up to love, and then we go back down to fear. And then we may go up to some courage, and then back down to grief. We might hit some neutrality and then plummet back into guilt. So the lowest of all the emotions is shame. And as a human, I'm sure you have felt it at one point or another. And it's pretty much feeling like you're not worth living, and that you're not worthy of love, and that you're not worthy of life. Guilt is the word above that raises it, the vibration. He marks it as a 10-point difference. And then apathy, grief, fear, desire. Now we're getting a higher vibration here. Desire, anger, a super powerful emotion. It's not as negative as some people think it is. Pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, and then love. And that's when we graduate to love. We get outside of the third dimension. Unconditional. I'm talking about unconditional love. Unconditional love. A state of being at that point, not just an emotion. So you may wonder, like, how deep rooted are we in these heavy emotions? Really deep rooted, because we have had lifetimes where we have done horrible things, unspeakable things, and enjoyed it. That is the love of power. But we've had just as many lifetimes where we've done the other side of the coin, where we have done magical, mystical, beautiful, miraculous things. And so this is the lifetime where they're all coming into balance. So when you get waves, super strong emotion, and they feel so deep, you could probably list a bunch of things in your life that you are grieving about, and yet more than just this life experience is dovetailing into it. And that's why sometimes it just feels bottomless. So hopefully just having that information helps you have the resolve to know that you can hold the presence of love and joy, company with emotions that feel like they are bottomless. Because they're not bottomless. We're getting to the bottom of them in this lifetime. We really are. I think they want to talk about that more another time. So I would love everyone to turn off the cameras, make sure their mics are muted. Kayla, if you can do the control mechanisms, if anybody's maybe napping right now and they can't see that for themselves. I am going to get a list of everybody who participated that signed up, and make also special energetic room for those that will listen to it in the future, because I'm going to play some music. I'm going to read to you what the music's going to do, and then I'm going to go through the list and give everybody an individual blast of healing energy. God knows what you need or want, so I don't have to decide. It's just going to emanate through me as I look at each person's name. So this is new, different. I want to see if it amps things up. I want to see if people can feel it. I want to see, I don't know. I just want to grow as we do these things and try new stuff out. So let's. Just checking with Kayla to see if this sounds okay. It might not be perfect. That's okay. Don't try not to let it bother you if you can't hear it that well, but I'll adjust it if she. So just take nice deep full breaths as you go inside and just see what you see. Start saying hello and see what responds as you go inside. Or just sit. Maybe you're going to get messages. You can tune my voice right out if you want to. So the music that's playing is to help lift all darkness that is unbeneficial, including memories, into being light and beneficial. All low vibrational entities, hidden or apparent, including monkey demons, dark watchers, lower realm, disembodied spirits, soul fragments, dark angels, demons, anything attached to, including any sentient or non-sentient beings, places, including the astral realms, objects, including molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, waves, or smaller, to be cleansed and healed in all directions of time. All hidden and apparent curses, hexes, implants, booby traps, post-hypnotic suggestions, cords, funnels, filaments, energy suckers, negative filters, vortices, deflector shields, reverse shields, saboteurs, dimensional rifts, hidden or apparent. They are being dissolved and uncreated now in all directions of time. All hidden and apparent toxins, including physical toxins, energetic toxins, spiritual toxins, emotional toxins, mental toxins, hidden or apparent, being released and dissolved and uncreated in all directions of time. All hidden or apparent, non-beneficial, energetic imbalances, including emotional, resonances, heart walls, psychic traumas, miasms, idea allergies, physical allergies, intolerances, physical blows, emotional blows, negative effects of mass consciousness being dissolved and uncreated in all directions of time. All hidden and apparent, non-beneficial energies causing the assemblage beam, aka your hara line, your chakras, and their connections to be unhappy, or preventing it from being perfectly healthy, being healed, are removed now, uncreated in all directions of time. All non-beneficial consciousness, controlling or influencing, targeting the oversoul, being removed now. Healing the auric shield, neutralizing any foreign energies that would reduce its consciousness. All hidden and apparent non-beneficial extraterrestrial influences, including projected thought forms, frequencies, infections, devices, implants, being removed, transmuted, and healed in all directions of time. Infections, whether earthly or off planet, being transmuted and healed in all directions of time without detoxification. All non-beneficial thought forms, including psychic attacks, leading energies, hidden leading energies, being dissolved in all directions of time. All harmful morphic fields, preventing optimal health and happiness, being removed and dissolved and uncreated. All non-beneficial vows, contracts, broadcast messages, memory fields, images, despair anchors, negative programs being dissolved, transmuted, and uncreated in all directions of time. Any noxious energies from EMF, microwaves, geoengineering, military, ET frequencies being dissolved in all directions of time. Dissolving all non-beneficial energies. Placing a self-erecting, self-evolving, self-modulating, self-repairing light shield. Putting in place that only allows positive, beneficial energy and deflects all non-beneficial energies with love. Fortifying the shield so you have connection to source 24/7 to heal your energetic body, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical body, to heal your assemblage point, your connection to your oversoul, helping your new chakras as they wake up, the 5 above your head, helping them to evolve and integrate gently into the other 7 existing through our spine, clearing out all the layers of the aura, electromagnetic field, giving a healing to all the organs, glands, bodily symptoms, including lymphatic, making sure the communication to the body, mind, and soul, and brain and heart are all getting clear messages to one another. Increasing our boundaries, our healthy boundaries, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, relationally, sexually, with every person, every object, everything, every place, every idea, every food, every piece of work we do, all our mass consciousness, all our past lives, all our future lives, while awake and asleep. Any conflict, shock that still is in our electromagnetic system being healed now. Increasing our ability to have the appropriate enzymes, mineral balance, hydration abilities, to balance our hormones, to beef up our immune system, neutralizing anything that causes autoimmunity, to heal our fascial connections, increasing our spiritual immune system as well. And all of our RNA and DNA, subatomic particles, waveforms in the body or affecting the body, healed now. And our heart-to-heart connection with ourselves, each other, and Mother Earth. It is now commanded that all of your three immune systems, physical, symbiotic, and energetic, be restored to 100% balance and function in all directions of time in the highest and best ways. Thank you. So you're going to hear my voice go silent for a bit as I'm directing energy to each participant. So wherever you are in your meditation, in your inner presencing, in your connecting to yourself, remember when you come across something that might not feel pleasant and you're saying hello to it, have communication with the universe of what you'd like. For example, I'm sitting with this pain, with this fear, with this judgment, whatever it is, and I am willing to feel differently. I am willing to see differently. I am willing to shift this. I am willing to understand it. I am willing to let go of it. Just use the word I am willing. It's a very powerful word when you're trying to shift something. I am willing. I am willing. I am willing to blank. And maybe it's I'm willing to forgive. I am willing to let go. I am willing to become whole. I am willing to heal. And if it feels like a real stretch, then say, I am willing to be willing. I am willing to be willing to forgive. We don't have to know. That's why we're connecting to God, source, angels. But by saying we're willing, it means we're letting go of our small will, our egoic will, and we're letting the will of the universe to come in and move things around so that we get a positive shift. I am willing to connect deeper to the light. I am willing to have a practice, 2 minutes of peace every morning and every evening. I am willing to see the dispute I'm having with someone from their shoes. I am willing to see it from their perspective, just so I can see the whole picture. I am willing to change. I am willing to grow. I'm willing to be happy. I'm willing to be here. I'm willing to admit maybe I don't know. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be right. We're going to do a reset and reboot. Frequency 14 definitely wants to come in though, because I think some people are detoxifying. So frequency 14 is about detoxification. It changes the vibration of a physical cellular template, changes the basement of our cellular matrix. It's obsidian black. It's a natural detoxifier, homeopathic, naturopathic. It drains out toxins out of your field and out of the pathways of, say, the liver, the kidneys, the heart, the gallbladder, lungs, etc. It changes the vibration of them so they can vibrate higher, even though we are detoxifying, because detoxifying emotions is still detoxifying, and sometimes we can get a little energy hangover afterwards. So we're asking that we not. We're asking that this energy 14 comes and cleanses and purifies all the things that we're releasing. And I'm going to activate the healing holographic program, Perfect Health and Fitness. I'm going to activate the Rings of Harmony around everyone on the call, everyone who signed up on the call that maybe is not on the call, and anyone in the future that listens to this replay. If you listen to it again, you get another healing. Okay. It is now commanded that all parts of you, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, dimensionally, all processes, all systems and energies be reset and rebooted, be renewed and revived, rebalanced and recalibrated, rejuvenated and regenerated, and restored to 100% ideal, radiant health in the highest and best ways in all directions of time and all timelines, where you exist with ease, speed, and grace, and anything that is in the way of that healing, may it be healed too. Thank you. And now we're just going to comb out your meridians. It's like you've got Rapunzel's hair, and these angelic fingers are just combing through your aura. You may even feel them go straight into your body and combing out a meridian or a organ or a gland, or you may feel it on the fringes of your bubble. There we go. Good. Very good. Good. That's the way, if any of the heavy stuff started coming out of the field, that we're just, these angelic fingers are helping it comb right out, so that we can take a couple of breaths and then join together for the last few minutes. Okay, I'm still on the back of everybody's body. And now we're going to the sides and then the front. Angelic hands, fingers just combing out, golden fingers just combing out your entire energy field, combing out any tight muscles, combing out thoughts that were looping, combing out the meridians. I command you, God, to place a sphere of unconditional love from the ultimate dimension around each person on this call and everybody registered for the call and anyone who listens to the replay. Please protect them from any negative entities, fractals thereof, manipulations, and transmission of frequencies that are not for their highest good through all space-time continuum and every dimension. I thank you, source of all that is, and send you my unconditional love. So be it. Amen. And then just wiggle your hands and feet. Take a few breaths. Come back in. You can even turn on your video if you want people to see your face, or not. You can be totally behind the curtain if you want. It don't matter. Whatever makes you happy. And maybe if people do start to sit up, if anybody wants to put in the chat how they're feeling or what they might have noticed, or feedback or suggestions, so I can read it afterwards, so I can answer any questions in emails tonight or tomorrow, because we tried out some new stuff. And if you're asleep, good for you. I hope you stay relaxed. And Kayla, whenever you come back, I don't know if you put your contact information in the chat room, but if you could do that, of how people can find you, if they would like assistance getting themselves set up on a platform to share whatever they want to share with people. When I was giving the individual healings, well, not me, well, you know what I mean, me with light coming through me, I noticed each person wanted in a very specific spot. Now, I don't know if that was too subtle for people to know, to feel it, or if you were on your own journey and talking to stuff, but oh yeah, Dana had an add-on to her story. Yeah, if it's appropriate now, it was something we just did, honey, and that helps people. Unmute yourself.
Hi, yeah, oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. I think the meeting with you the night prior had put me in the proper place to be receiving, because I think I was still holding a lot of light and a lot of really good energy from that. So thank you.
Oh, you mean to get warmed up for the 4/4, the big clearing?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
spirit told me to do it the night before that to get everybody really primed so they could let go as much as possible and not be scared. Because I mean, I set up portals when I do group healings, but you know, other facilitators might not, and I didn't want anyone to feel like they might take on other people's stuff or anything. So I wanted people to go into group healings after that with a really bomber energy field, so they
Well,
could.
it works for me.
Yeah, good job, thank you.
So something I didn't mention before, I was way too emotional. But I just wanted to say that knowing where I had gone um, into the womb and not really knowing, but knowing. So when I finally came to, I called my cousin, who's 10 years older than me, and I asked her if my mom had a problem giving birth because I thought I was like in the canal because it felt treacherous, you know, like difficult. And she said, no, but why do you ask? Like she immediately, I had texted her and she immediately called me. And then she wanted to know why. And I said, well, I had an amazing meditation and something came up. And then all of a sudden I just started like spilling all of this to her. And she too was very open and understanding and not judgmental. And she told me that my mom and my dad had a really hard time when she was pregnant with me. Physical, mental abuse, not good. And I guess I really experienced it. Like it's so real.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed that it's like gone.
Yeah, you get a new life. It's amazing when we become aware of the stuff that we're actually holding inside our cellular tissue, our memories that we don't consciously know of. It, you know, sometimes you do not have to know what you're releasing. For you, you did, and that helped your experience. But some of this stuff is so dark and so deep, and past lives of horrible abuse that the angels will protect us sometime, and we will get a healing and we'll feel this thing kind of like leave our energy field without knowing specifically what it was, because the angels sometimes protect us because they're like, why should we tell them the horrible thing? It's not necessary for them to know. If it is necessary to know, we will know. If it facilitates our growth, if it facilitates our learning, if it's something that we have to acknowledge, is it something that we have to verbally have forgiveness with. Otherwise, it can be like your experience, just this big thing of energy leaving, and then afterwards it started to make sense to you. So thanks for adding that in there.
Felt like I needed to also be prepared and willing to receive as well.
Oh, good point.
And
Well, I hope these quick treats are easy for everyone. You know, I am here, I am safe, I'm enough, I am love, I am my name. Just easy things. Hello to the darkness inside. These are all super easy tools that can be super profound when we sit and have patience with them. And I, when I mean patience, it doesn't have to be hours. I can have extremely profound meditations in 2 minutes or 10 minutes. Like we get better at it. The muscle that we develop gets better at it. So and it might just dovetail to something you already do together, or maybe this is a gathering that's just nice to be with like-minded people that are focusing on love instead of fear for 2 hours in 1 week, you know. For me, it feels like my purpose on the planet. I did not know that, so it confirms to me that this is a way that spirit wants to move through me. And I had so much resistance, and getting your positive feedbacks and your little notes and texts like mean the world to me, because like I have no idea what it seems like on the other end. I don't even remember my words after. I listen to the videos 2 or 3 times and I go into an altered state and I'm like, I don't even know what I said. I mean, they keep telling me not to take notes because they're like, we're not going to repeat the same thing twice. Every week will be different. Don't worry about it. Don't stress. And I do, because I have a big fat ego and care how it comes off. And the more that I do it, I think the less I will get in my own way. And that's why I wanted to see if people felt the individual healing. My forte is the healer. That's what I love. I love connecting to source light and letting it move right through me, and then just watching what it does in people's faces. That's my favorite thing. And so I would love to, have that be even more of the group healings, if people were into it. So Kayla, how are you doing?
Good. That was amazing, Annie. You're getting a lot of amazing feedback too, and so much gratitude. People were feeling the individual feelings,
Oh, good.
the individual healings, and want to keep going. They're very grateful for these gatherings.
Oh, goody. Then I am too. You're my tribe. I'm your tribe. We're all each other's tribe. It will find the right people. Listen to your heart when you share it to people. Don't try to shove it down your family member's throat that really, that doesn't feel interested. Like it might not be for them, I know we want the people around us to heal. I get it. But use your intuition of who might resonate with this. Because as we grow and then we offer it to all our family members, they're going to get a big fat healing without even having to be on the call. So it'll find the right people. And maybe people come and maybe people go, but I'm willing to put the time into it as long as people keep showing up. If life goes back to people working regular hours, we'll reassess and we'll communicate through emails of how we think it might fade away or get even deeper for us, because they talk to me 24 hours a day, and I could talk for 4 years straight and never run out of a thing to say. They want to say so much that at this point I feel like I have to do it. I love you guys so much. I'm so honored to be in your presences and have people take the time out of their family lives and their personal lives and just their evenings. It's so humbling to have people show up in the name of love and really put some effort into it. Like, you are a group of amazing light being and healers. Like, I am honored because I know the people on here are masters. Going through the names in the list, I was like, holy cow, I was having flashbacks to past lifetimes. You are masters, and you are here to herald in this new world. It is going to be a new earth. We've got to keep focusing on that and nurturing that in our hearts, and keep cleaning out the inside of our beings so that more of us stays incarnated. The more of us that can get incarnated, the easier we will have a time manifesting what we want our realities to look at. So I honor each and every one of you, and I am so grateful for your presence and your love and your commitment and your grace, such grace and love of love, because that's the bottom line. People who really love and know it's the answer, that's who I want to play with in these times together. So Kayla, thanks again. I can't even, you're the backbone of it. So thank you very much for getting it off the ground. Please contact Kayla if you want to get something flying too, because she's a master and can make, even for the, really thick-headed people, make it make sense. Okay.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Till our
Annie.
next time.
Oh,
Bye.
Bye.
many
Annie.
blessings.
Oh, now I hear people's voices.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie. That was amazing.
So
Annie.